Welcome everybody to Markonomics 101 presents Hoot Loot, where you come to be informed, be amused, but never be misled. And the reason I'm sitting here with the First Lady is, number one, to reintroduce her to everybody. She is the one good thing about inflation that there is. And number two, she's going to get to the bottom of who's been trying to whack me with pies. So she's here to be sort of my bodyguard, my advisor, and the one good thing about inflation. We'll be back with the charts in just a minute. Well, the charts continue to paint an amazing picture, and we're going to tell you how they're speaking loudly again in a very unusual way, I should say. So, with the Dow Jones, what we see is we've been talking about this on the last show, and that's been the rally on declining volume. Now we see a decline on surging volume, on spiking volume in all of the indexes, and we're seeing that in a lot of stocks. We're seeing that now all of a sudden it's coming in on the downside, but it wasn't there on the upside. So it looks, the market continues to look closer to tip over. NASDAQ 100, same thing. Look at that, not really looking good. Again, spiking volume, declining prices. S&P rounded top, spiking price, spiking volume, declining prices. S&P 500 small cap, they're about to break down too, but again, spiking volume. You know the drill. Dow Jones Transportation Average. Now this is a really important one because the Dow Jones Transportation Average is, well, they got to move somehow, right? They got to go from point A to point B. I'm not sure how I do that, but it gets done. Anyway, so they continue to be in a 7-point reverse wave, and I know it's kind of like they've been sort of stuck in that one, but well, they are important. They're not really giving us. They're telling us that mixed signals, and you have to really pay attention to mixed signals a lot because sometimes mixed signals are telling you that your overall view is not correct, and you have to always reappraise your view. So the Wilshire 5000, I put this in for a really important reason. So the Wilshire 5000 is an index of all the large cap companies in the United States. It's up almost 100% in 1 year. You see that? 100%, the chart says, in a year. Now also, you see the fact that the volume on the Wilshire is also going up in the last 3 months. You see a spike in volume in the last 3 months. Now that spike in volume in the last 3 months plus a rounded top, oh, you know what that says to me? It says like distribution, smart money to maybe not so smart money, that kind of thing. That's why I put that in there, because all of a sudden you're seeing higher volume on a churning type of pattern and a topping type of pattern. That's what's happening, is that good money is being made by those who are taking money off the table, and bad money is chasing stupid, all kinds of things out there that I'm hearing about. So anyway, the U.S. dollar still remains strong, still is important, and still continues to kind of creep its way back up. So this is putting pressure on precious metals, but it's really strange when you have inflation like we do, which I'm about to show you that there is. It's pretty strange that the dollar would be this strong, but maybe it's just a little bit of a rebound move. I don't know. Bitcoin continues to be all the rage. Bitcoin's worth $1 billion. Well, no. I'm not really sure that it is worth $1 billion, but or I'm sorry, it's $1 trillion right now. Bitcoin is worth. But there are people that think that it's going to go from 50,000 or so where it is to $1 million a coin. We'll see. I don't think so. I've talked about what Bitcoin's value. No one seems to know what it is, but we'll talk about that another time. Now here's where we're talking about another place that inflation is starting to show itself, is the Invesco Agriculture Fund. Food inflation, that is happening at a much, much faster rate. It's not the 2% that the Fed thinks it is and Jay Powell thinks it is. It's a lot higher. People have to eat. I mean, Christ. And also the base metals fund, that one is showing that all of the building materials in the country are going up in price. The reason you can't find any change anymore is because like in the nickel's worth more than a nickel, and basically right now inflation is making base metals go up like crazy, and they are in a lot of things. Big oil maybe have made a top here. This is one of those interesting little discrepancies that we're starting to see in the market. But big oil uh, right now doesn't look so good. Again, it's falling into the pattern that we talked about before, and it's making a really bad pattern. And the way it broke down, the way everything broke down, is telling. So now crude oil, ooh, now it looks like it's in a topping pattern too. So crude oil has not gone into government stats yet, but it looks like it's probably halted on the way up. Nonetheless, it's still up a lot. If you look at year over year, it's still up an awful lot, even though temporarily it has broken down. Unleaded gasoline, again, going through the roof, but kind of pausing a little bit. Copper miners, copper goes in everything. Copper even goes into my teeth. My teeth. Anyway, the copper miners ETF is just going like sky high. I can't. That's another sign of inflation. There's one that's not gold. Oh God, I've been pounding the table for gold, for gold, for gold, for gold, for gold. I've wanted gold like crazy. It's kind of letting me down right now. Not ready for prime time. I wish it was. Silver, doing a little bit better, but I don't know. I don't know what to think about silver right now, because I don't really think the market is. I don't think betting on something going up is actually a good idea right about now. Just about anything. I put just about nothing in here that would suggest that I am making any kind of recommendation or anything else. So just be warned about that. Palladium, that one is also another metal that is breaking out and that is acting as if inflation is around. Now, this is the 3 to 7 year Treasury bond ETF. This is what you would have done, what your performance would have been had you owned this. Okay, this was intended to mimic the security itself. Okay, so in other words, look at how much you lost. Okay, in a 3 to 7 year Treasury. Are you kidding me? Those are supposed to be safe. No, not really that safe, are they? I guess not. So here's the yields on 10-year Treasuries are another thing that just continue to skyrocket. And we've been talking about this forever. Inflation Nation was a show we did a while ago. No one saw it, of course, but we've been talking about this forever. That this is going to happen, and it happened that way. And we continue to tell you that it's going to go higher. It could, well, not that it has to go higher, but it could go way higher. So that's what we're trying to do here and tell you about. The 7 to 10 year Treasury ETF. Well, again, look at that. It's supposed to be kind of a safe piece of paper to own that. Well, gee, not if you own something that was designed to mimic it. You did pretty badly. You lost about 10% on a security that's supposed to be really safe. Okay. The 20-year the Treasury bond ETF. Well, look at that. That's cascading too. Long term, especially if you're long term right now, you are getting just whacked every day. And still rates from here could easily triple, if not quadruple from here, given the kind of inflation warnings that we're seeing. This is the ProShares Ultra Short Treasuries. This is like the perfect hedge against having variable rates and being a victim of inflation. This thing performs when interest rates go up, which they're doing. I shouldn't say about to do, they're doing. But in any event, this is something that you can actually. I would actually consider this one of the few things that would be worth looking at as a possible thing to buy. But I wouldn't. I don't know. I don't know if I'd do it. I've pretty much tried to insulate myself from inflation as much as I can. But I do know one good thing about inflation. We'll talk about that some more. Anyway, these are investment grade bonds, corporate bonds. Now, the reason these are in there is because these are all about the fact that corporate bonds are the kind of things that banks loan to. Okay, so in other words, a bank will own a something like a corporate bond or a high grade bond. They will own a secured loan to a company, to a possibly even a public company. All right, so they're going to suffer this kind of loss, okay, by holding this kind of loan, okay, potentially. And that's why this is important. Okay, and now, retailers, are giving us incredible mixed signals. Costco continues to act horribly, and I'm telling you, I think Costco is just, not looking good. But then some of them, Nordstrom, look at that. I don't get that one. It's breaking out like all of a sudden people don't like Costco, but they love Nordstrom. Okay, please tell me what the hell's going on because I'd really like to know. Okay, anyway, MasterCard is also important because it is kind of giving us a different signal. If you look at MasterCard and you think about its correlation to the economy, it's getting clobbered. On Friday, Thursday, it got clobbered all of a sudden on increasing volume. So all of a sudden, we're getting really mixed signals, and this is one of them right here. Another one, Target is actually it bounced back a little bit. Now I don't know if it bounced back to a trend line or whatever, but again, Target is just all of a sudden, it's kind of arisen from the dead. Who knows? Walmart. Well, Walmart shoppers are still a little exhausted, I think, from everything. So they haven't been doing too much other than just kind of, keep it on. If you know what I mean. All right. So Visa is another thing that like Mastercard is an incredibly good uh, correlation to the economy, or has an incredible correlation to the economy. And Visa also, look at that. It breaks down out of an ascending bearish wedge. I mean, that's just what a horrible, horrible, technical indicator that is when you look at the surge in volume. Oh, jeez. Anyway, okay, let's Apple. All right, now Apple's important always because Apple is Apple. I mean, Apple is everything but seven of the largest economies of the world. But Apple's also breaking down. Apple is also they have great customer service. I will say thank you very much for that. And but right now, Apple has been the leader, although not all companies are following Apple. Interestingly enough. Um, Okay. Amazon is kind of breaking down, kind of not breaking down. Uh, you know, I I don't think that this is anything is happening here other than a response to higher interest rates. That's it. All right. So, in other words, what we're seeing is Amazon or Apple go down because of their sensitivity to higher interest rates. They are the equivalent of an infinite duration type of security. So they would have the highest sensitivity to interest rates. So that's why we have them on here, and why they're so important, why they're getting hit, necessarily. Okay, Facebook. On the other hand, there's Facebook, and Facebook is right in our face, running up the flagpole there. So I gotta give I gotta give credit here. Here's a place where there's a weird strength that I really don't understand. All of a sudden, you see a surge in volume and a surge in the price. I'm not sure, but it needs to be watched. So we'll keep an eye out. All right, I've talked about the island top and all that. Um, Google continues to be in a great uptrend, and the island, I've finally just moved it over. actually, I found a lot more islands that I actually have that I'm going to show you that are kind of interesting. So anyway, nothing really here. Microsoft really is just reacting to the fact that interest rates are going up and the multiple needs to go down. That's simple as that. It's a a lot of these companies are 40 multiples, 50 multiples. Well, okay, they're going to go down to be 20 multiples. Okay, 25 multiples. That's what's going to happen. Um, all right, we have Nvidia. Nvidia is the big chip maker and a good second tier proxy. It is broken down for the most part. It snapped back just a little bit, but we're seeing more companies that are rolling over than are not, and this is one of them. Netflix is still sort of in a sideways pattern. I would expect that Netflix will break down, but until it does, it hasn't. So, Netflix is still sideways, and we're just going to monitor it. Tesla is a company I always love. I love to talk about Tesla. Oh God. Okay. But here's the thing. Tesla is really important because of the fact that it is everybody's hope stock. And, Elon and I have had a lot of talk about, SpaceX and all of that. I don't even want to talk about it. But anyway, let's go on. Qualcomm, another major chip company that has moved, that is also broken down. It's sort of a second tier company, but I would still call it a very indicative company. So, again, worth watching. All right, FedEx is really important because transportation of goods is so important and so indicative of the economy. So FedEx looks like it's actually breaking up. Now, I'm finding it really hard to understand why some things are indicating strengthening and some things are not. FedEx right now indicates strengthening. I'm not entirely sure I get why. They reported good earnings. Earnings are a fiction after all, but I don't know. FedEx looks good to me. UPS is still, not looking. I'm still going to say it's in a rounded top. I don't know which way it'll break. We'll see. It's in a big, talk about a big island. That is just a big island right there too. In addition to a bearish rounded top. All right, Goldman Sachs. The company that will never, ever, ever go down is it continues to just go up and up and up and up. Well, I guess those IPO fees are just really, well, what I've read actually is that they're giving out great bonuses and they're working incredible hours and all that because there's so much business. There's just so much business they can't handle it. So here we go. There, Goldman Sachs is one of the Dow components, very indicative, and it's just on a tear. JP Morgan also on a tear. Look at that. May have broken down out of a pair. For a bank to go parabolic is just really an incredible thing. I mean, this is parabolic is kind of things that you associate with Bitcoin or you associate with more speculative stuff, like that. You don't associate it with banks and car companies and Fed, all that. You just don't. I mean, and retailers. I mean, you just don't. So, Procter and Gamble, also a Dow component. They make a lot of products. Obviously, I don't know what some of them are, to be honest, right now, but they make a lot of products. Cereals and all that. I'm sure I eat some of their cereals. They're part of the Fruit Loops for the Hoot Loot or something like that. We'll hope it's them. Anyway, it's not looking so good, and it's breaking down. Verizon, still not looking very good. Also a Dow component. Incredible market cap for this company, the largest telecom company there is, and it's just not looking good. All right, Ford. Here's Ford Motor. Here's parabolic Ford Motor. I don't totally get it. Where are people going to be buying all these new cars? Okay, they're putting all their money. They've already received their stimulus checks. 90 million of them supposedly have already been received. Of course, mine has not. So, I really am very resentful about that, I must say. Anyway, Ford is, really weird company. General Motors also parabolic, ridiculous, so ridiculous. What on earth is going on here? Now here's a chart that will blow you away like it blew me away. Is Volkswagen, okay? The Beetle. We're talking about the Beetle, the old Beetle, the old German car that just everybody can own. And look at that. Look at it skyrocket. It looks like either Volkswagens are made of Bitcoin or they're convertible into Bitcoins or something like that. I don't know. But if you look at this incredible, just vault in price, um, you just you're absolutely speechless. So I included that one in there, and of course there's one of my favorites, Stellantis, the praying mantis, Fiat Chrysler. Well, I shouldn't give it too much buff because it did break out to the upside. It continues to be one of those exceptions to the rule, but you have to just pay attention to what the market's telling you. IBM is in a sideways pattern. It's a really important company because it's a Dow Jones 30 company, and it's been a Dow Jones 30 company forever. So it's in a sideways pattern. That's why we put it in. There's a lot of mixed signals, and some are just plain sideways. Salesforce is a new Dow component. It's actually really one of the bigger components right now, and we put it in, and it's in a firm downtrend. So here you're seeing one of the larger Dow components not doing very well at all. Now this is the bank index, and this continues to just rocket higher. On the last couple days, there was some indication that they were going to come down, but right now they continue to just go higher, and it just boggles the mind. So the broker dealer index also continues to go higher. Well, I think that they're looking forward to a bunch of IPOs coming down the pike, including my friend Elon Musk's SpaceX for $74 billion. The IPO for Stripe. I'm going to pause here for just a minute. But the IPO for Stripe is almost $100 billion. I don't even think, just off the top of my head, that there was even $100 billion company in existence until General Electric was worth that sometime in the 80s. I'm going to check that out. But that's how unusual it is. And right now everything is worth, things are coming out at $100 billion, the price of the most valuable company, in the world, and we're seeing it right now. So the S&P bank, look at that again, a parabolic bank index. I mean, it just boggles the mind. What is really so good about long-term rates, going up when you're holding paper that's going down in value? I mean, I just really, I don't know why that would be the case, but apparently it is. The regional bank ETF is really a grouping of the smaller regional banks like SunTrust and all that. And once again, they may have broken down, they may have not. We're kind of, really looking to see whether the financials actually break down with everything else. It looks like the NASDAQ has, but we'll see. And finally, we wanted to look at a couple of our favorites. AMC Entertainment. I actually, in drawing this chart, I actually have to say that I was gunning for the Reddit Rebels. Well, if you look at this chart just objectively, okay, if you look at it objectively, there was a buy signal. This thing looks like it should be going up. Now, why it isn't, why it's going up on a short squeeze, I don't know, but the chart says it's going up, and that's why I put it in, because it shocked me. I was all ready to say, hey, you guys are going to basically end up at zero. You're a bunch of losers. Well, no, I can't say that right now. And there's also GameStop. that one, the big issue. Well, I got to tell you, I mean, look, if you look at this objectively, it really looks very bullish, and I really enjoyed it. So, um, anyway, we wanted to show you the Hootloot currency here, and we're going to show you the new currency that we're coming out with. Now, this is a currency backed by the full faith and credit of Markonomics 101, and we want you to have this. This is going to be we are going to have these available for Christmas and other special occasions very, very soon. And finally, we have the Hoot coin. Okay, everybody wants to talk Bitcoin, 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 Bitcoin. Well, to hell with Bitcoin. With Bitcoin, all you get is a bunch of computer code, which you can lose. This is going to be a real coin. It's going to be actual coin that you can hold in your hand, that you can use, that you can flip, all that kind of good stuff, and hopefully give as stocking stuffers. So anyway, I want to say, please like and subscribe. The button's right up there. This is Hootloot. We love you. We're going to be back next Wednesday. And hope you enjoyed the show. And thank you very much. And we'll see you next time. Will the First Lady and I know who the real